This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Happy Friday to you. Yeah, I don't know how Benson Boone, we were just talking about those flips. How does he, did he take gymnastics training?
Okay, here's the thing about men. Men are not scared to do flips. I've learned in my lifetime.
Is this true?
I know a lot of guys who are just like, yeah, I just did a backflip. Are you familiar with this phenomenon?
Yes, literally all of my in-laws.
Yeah, and he does it enough too. He's coming off an elevated surface, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I mean, when he's doing it so often, how many? 7 last night was the official count. So
that's incredible.
Men just like doing flips, and apparently Benson Boone is one of them, and I love it. And I want to bring him in here, and he can do a backflip off our desk.
Maybe not.
We're going to get treacherous from HR and our safety coordinators here.
That's true. It seems treacherous, but maybe that's me. My husband did a backflip at our wedding and then a handstand. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need to get video of that.
Yes, it is a thing. It is. I don't know where the lack of fear comes from, but I'm not complaining about it. For those of you heading out this morning, beautiful sunrise is showing up on our SkyTrack camera, including this one in Starlight, Indiana. Gorgeous starts to the day. No clouds overhead across the region, seeing that on our satellite and radar. And we're watching temperatures mainly in the 50s. We are still holding on to 60, though, for those of you in Fort Knox, 63 at the airport in Louisville. Over the next 12 hours, we'll return to the low to mid 80s for highs outside the metro. In the metro, mid to upper 80s for your highs this afternoon, and keeping the wind light and calm. Humidity will be low. So for Bourbon and beyond, yeah, mainly talking about temperatures in those 80s. But as fish goes on, that is when we'll see those temperatures start to fall down into the 70s. Shannon, Olivia.
Thank you. Top investigators in Utah are continuing the manhunt for the killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
This as FBI officials have released new video and photos of a suspect. It shows him running across the roof, then dropping down into the grass. Investigators say that left behind some palm print smudges and shoe imprints in the grass. Leaders also showed photos of the clothing the suspect was wearing. They specifically pointed to a black shirt with an American flag and eagle on it, and a baseball cap with a triangle emblem. Since the shooting, authorities say the FBI's hotline has received more than 7,000 tips, on top of already doing nearly 200 interviews. New this morning, we're continuing to hear reaction from local leaders in Kentucky and Indiana about the incident, many of them commenting on the political violence.
We need to, therefore, encourage more dialogue, and maybe that's a lesson that can be drawn from this. But the political violence has to stop, the violence of all kinds.
You know, it's we all have deep beliefs. You know, people are very passionate about their ideology, especially in this building. But I think that the temperature is too high.
Anger doesn't help us heal. Anger doesn't help us make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And lashing out at groups of people cannot be the answer to creating a better Commonwealth and a better country.
Utah's governor says they will pursue the death penalty against the suspect if they're caught. Meanwhile, multiple historically black colleges and universities in several states were put on lockdown yesterday. Virginia State University had to abruptly close due to a campus threat. VSU did not elaborate on what kind of threat it received, though. However, the school said no injuries were reported. Students who live on campus were told to remain indoors. Hampton University also closed due to a potential campus threat. And other HBCUs were placed on lockdown Thursday due to those potential threats. They include Alabama State, Clark Atlanta, Spelman Southern, and Bethune-Cookman.
The events that took place with the death of Charlie Kirk happened on a college campus, and it really brings up the issue of safety on campus. Campus police with some large universities like UK say when a visitor comes to campus, especially one that's high profile, they do need to implement more security. They say that with each high profile guest, they look at a detailed plan. It includes conversations with risk management, the event, facilities management too, and that individuals own team and their security too. They also say it really highlights that there has to be a lot of work that goes into thoroughly researching threatening locations. A new proposed ordinance by some members of the Louisville Metro Council would make it a requirement to have all pets living in the city microchipped.
Councilwoman Donna Purvis and Councilman Andrew Owen filed an amendment to the Louisville Metro Code of Ordinances to ensure lost pets are reunited with their owners. Wave News reporter Rob Wells is here to explain. Rob.
Shannon Olivia, Councilman Owen tells me if the ordinance passes, dogs and cats living in city limits would have to be microchipped by 3 months of age. Owners would have to update contact information within 30 days. That's if they move or change their telephone numbers. And that includes if the pet is given to somebody else, with both the old and new owner being required to update the information. Owen tells me that one reason he supports the proposal is because animal services shelters are experiencing significant overpopulation. He says the animals are overcrowded in their cages, which limits ability to take in and care for brand new animals, including those surrendered. The shelter, he adds, has been forced to euthanize healthy and adoptable dogs, a practice he and supporters want to stop.
This is actually a law, and it has ramifications, which are financial penalties if people decide not to do it. What I will say is, before I was on council, a similar piece of legislation came up, and it's been a number of years. And so Councilwoman Purvis was there for that legislation, and it got some significant pushback.
The amendments, Owen adds, offers a lifetime pet license for one-time fee of $25. That's for dogs and cats that are spayed, neutered, and microchipped and have up-to-date rabies vaccinations. He compares that to the normal $120 annual fee for an unaltered dog and cat license. The legislation, by the way, had its first reading last night. It'll then be assigned to the Public Safety Committee next Wednesday at 4 p.m. for public comment. Of course, we'll keep you posted about what happens. Back over to you.
Thank you, Rob. An action-packed first day at Bourbon and Beyond at the Kentucky Expo Center, and that fun will continue for day 2 today. Today's headliner is Phish, with plenty of other great bands like Joe Bonamassa, Switchfoot, and plenty more. Danny Wimmer Presents recently signed a new contract to keep Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life in Louisville for another 10 years. The new configuration at the Expo Center allows for more growth. The crowd of about 200,000 people includes Bourbon and Beyond veterans as well as some first-time visitors.
There are bars everywhere. No one should have to stand in line for anything. So it's been, I think he's done a great production here. And the shade, the lineup is incredible.
Gates will open again today at 11 a.m. and you can download the Wave News app to follow along with Bourbon and Beyond. We have the full schedule posted on our website. We'll also be uploading festival and fan photos as Bourbon and Beyond continues this weekend. I love it out there too. Just good vibes all around.
Yeah, and it's so nice that they added those like fake trees and spots too,
right?
So people can sit under those.
And then there's access to the Expo Center, so you can get relief from the AC and all that.
It's great.
So I mean, it's really a good fan experience.
Yeah, and then you won't feel so cramped too, unless you're up close to see one.
You'll definitely be cramped there.
Well, you can check out Dreamgirls the musical, and Marissa Burke is live this morning giving us a preview of this show you can see at the Brown Theater. Dreamgirls, so many people love that show, and you can see it at the Brown Theater. It tells the story of the Chicago girls group rise to fame in the 60s and 70s.
The director is also highlighting the legacy of Black artists who broke barriers and shaped American music. And some of those favorite hits will be included, like And I Am Telling You I'm Not Going and One Night Only. Wave News Dream Girl Marissa Berg joining us live with the details. And you've already got the choreography down, Marissa.
I do. I know I'm an honorary member, but I'm here with Alonzo Ramont, the director, and he really wanted to focus on the stories behind what people remember of the Dreamgirls. It's so much more than what meets the eye.
It really is. In this production, 32 cast members, 15 band members, 12 production team members working backstage. It's taken a village to bring this show to life. Tony Award-winning musical Dreamgirls. So we're excited about it.
Absolutely. And the theme for your season this year is This Is Our America, and you're trying to capture
This is Our America 2. Yeah.
Because you're trying to capture all of those stories, and the Dreamgirls fits right in there.
Dreamgirls fits right in there. It's a patriotic story. It's an American story. It's about the Americans. Everybody wants to be successful, right? Even in the 1960s. And so this is, some people call it a little bit of a play on the Supremes, that it steals from the Supremes a little bit, not officially. But if you are familiar with Motown and that kind of time, then this musical is going to be great for those kind of people.
And it's going to be at the Actors Theater.
Actors Theater of Louisville in the Pamela Brown Theater. So 600-seat theater. So we got plenty of seats for people to come fill.
Okay, and your cast has a surprise for us.
We're going to do a little step into the back.
Ooh, well, let's step out of the way. If you want to check them out, tickets are $35. The show starts next Friday. Back to you.
Awesome. I want to make an entrance like that on the shows, because they just came out of the sequence and they were like,
I'm here.
And I'm like, what an entrance, ladies.
I love it, but that's why they're the Dream Girl.
That's true. I'm not a dream girl. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yes. But yeah, for anybody maybe rocking to that soundtrack this morning, things are looking pretty good overall weather-wise. We are seeing the clear skies, high pressure in control, not much happening across most of the Ohio Valley. And after a very active start to the year, we like some quiet weather, but we're going to need some rain at some point. But yeah, it's going to take some time for significant rainfall to come back into our forecast. So clear skies across the entire region. As of right now, we're seeing those showing up as well on our SkyTrack camera looking towards downtown Louisville. A little bit hazy here and there as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures are mainly in the 50s to start off your Friday morning, so you may need those light jackets. Once we get into the afternoon, you can gently place those jackets aside as we climb into the mid to upper 80s for your highs, with all of that sun still overhead. So for those of you, maybe you aren't quite the Bourbon and Beyond kind of people, maybe you are heading to the Gaslight Festival instead, you are going to see temperatures still in those 80s for most of the events later on this evening, as then we'll return to the 50s and low 60s overnight into early tomorrow morning. We still have the Gaslight Festival going on tomorrow. We still have, of course, Bourbon and Beyond going on for the weekend as well. And we'll have to keep an eye on that heat trying to develop, trying to build a little bit more for Saturday and Sunday, with highs in the upper 80s and low 90s for both days. Now, while most of your Saturday is dry, once we head into Saturday evening, especially between 8 p.m. and midnight, this is when we'll see a couple of light showers and areas of drizzle pushing through. All of the modeling is agreeing on that. But what it doesn't agree on is the early Sunday morning storms, because some of these could drift into our region, producing some slightly heavier rainfall. Some models have this rain off towards our east. Some models have it right along 65, and this one has it further to the west. So the track of this will be key to what we see early on Sunday, but regardless, we'll watch for some spotty showers Sunday morning. The drier air, the lower levels of the atmosphere may eat away at a lot of the rainfall as well. So that's something else that will will continue to monitor. But overall, yes, some small rain chances early Sunday. Once you get into Monday and Tuesday, drier, highs in the low 90s, and we'll keep things on the warmer side with humidity still relatively low even as we get further into next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tawana. Several homeowners in the corner of Bullitt County are concerned about the new homes they bought being infested with mold just months after construction.
Wave News troubleshooter Alina Noakes has a look inside, and the owners fight for answers.
The home builder in question in this story is D.R. Horton. They are a Forbes 500 company, raking in more than $36 billion in revenue just last year after closing on more than 89,000 homes. Some of those closings came out of Bullitt County, and just as soon as those new homeowners signed those papers, the problems began.
These are the sights and sounds of new homes.
This is terrible.
And these are some of the sights and sounds inside one of those homes. Most of these homes were built by D.R. Horton, a multi-billion-dollar company that has grown to construct homes in 39 states since 1978, including Kentucky and most recently right here in Bullitt County. This is exactly where Josh Haben and his family want to be, just not under these conditions.
So I think that we first noticed elevated humidity within probably 2 to 3 weeks of moving into the house.
The family moved in April. As summer set in, thermostats registered up to 95% humidity on the hottest day, as dehumidifiers run 24/7.
The highest on those has reached over 90%, and we continuously pull 2 gallons of water out of each dehumidifier daily.
And then there's these holes in the ceiling of the house, exposing moisture had been building up on the HVAC piping.
Believe it or not, was all bubbled up. That's why this paint is coming off like that. So it was bubbled up from the water dripping through it.
And where there was water, they'd soon find mold inside the walls, like where this massive chunk is cut out. These holes mark where he tested moisture levels, which measured at 23%.
You can do your own research on what 23% moisture in a wall does.
For a while, Haben thought they were the only ones dealing with issues like this, but they weren't.
Vent here, it has mold that's been growing on it. That's actually what they did the swab on.
Ashley Mills quickly saw a dripping vent in her guest bathroom become covered in mold. She reported it to her D.R. Horton warranty representative immediately.
He came out, he looked at it, he sprayed some Kills over it, and that was that.
So Mills ordered a mold test. The report she got back showed several kinds of mold in her bathroom at abnormally high levels. Hoppen's report shows something similar.
Mold is mold. You know, so whether it was a high dangerous mold or, you know, even if it's at a low level, I mean, that low level can always grow to be more than what it is.
Mills said her family has been left with a noticeable increase in respiratory issues and a lingering concern that the mold may not only be in one little bathroom.
Is there more than we know about that's growing up in there? Is it in the insulation? If there's any, is there, you know, is it getting on the wood, you know, like the framing, any framing of the house, you know, because I don't want to deal with issues later down the road.
After this interview, Mills did discover that there was mold growing around her HVAC piping inside the walls. Both Haben and Mills say the root cause behind the humidity and mold growth still isn't clear. Since this interview, D.R. Horton representatives have visited both of these homeowners. They say they've started efforts to remove the mold, honoring their warranty, but that hasn't removed the frustration for the 28-year-old dad from having his new home become a hostile place to live.
How does that leave you feeling as a homeowner to know that that's where your family is sleeping and eating and living every single day?
Honestly, it kind of makes me feel really bad because as the guy, you know, you're supposed to be the provider and things, and then you put your family, hold on, sorry.
Take your time.
It's the first time somebody's asked me that question. But I mean, ultimately, you know, that makes me feel really bad because as the guy, you know, you're supposed to be the provider, and then you provide for your family, right, and put them in a house filled with mold, especially with a 2-year-old. And so it makes me feel very bad. I know it makes my wife feel very bad that our son's exposed to that as well.
Since our interview, Hobbin and Mills have seen more mold growing in new places. We reached out to D.R. Horton to find out why this is happening to these homeowners and what they're doing to fix it. The only response we got back was this: we're aware of the concerns of some homeowners in Coral Ridge and have been diligently working with affected homeowners to address these concerns accordingly. D.R. Horton is committed to superior customer service and building quality homes and neighborhoods in Louisville and across the United States, and every D.R. Horton home comes with a robust warranty. Alina Noakes, Wave News.
And you can reach out to the Wave troubleshooters. If you have a concern, you can go to wave3.com, just look for the troubleshooter tab, and then you can fill out your information right there.
The best is yet to come at this year's Gaslight Festival. Everything from the car show to craft vendors. We'll tell you all about it after the break.
Well, this is the last weekend to enjoy some of the Gaslight Festival events going on in Jeffersontown this weekend. Tonight, there'll be more than 135 arts and crafts vendors from across the country showing off their talents. You can find handmade, unique goods. And tomorrow, it's all about vehicles, police cars, dump trucks, and ambulances. Oh, kids will love checking out those dump trucks. And then the Gaslight Car Show and Bike Show hits Taylorsville Road on Sunday. Now, the Gaslight Festival has been hosted annually since 1969. So a very long tradition for so many people. In fact, you were even in the parade as a kid.
I always did the cartwheels and the back handsprings on the concrete, and it did hurt my hands a lot, but you know, worth the pain. We had so much fun. But so many things happening this weekend too, especially with Bourbon and Beyond, and all kinds of different festivals. So get out there and have fun with it all.
Yes, we'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good Friday morning. I'm Shannon Kogan, and this is the last weekend to enjoy some of the Gaslight Festival events in J-Town this weekend. Tonight, they'll have more than 130 arts and crafts vendors from all over the country, so you can find some handmade, unique goods. And tomorrow, you can explore all the J-Town vehicles. They'll have police cars, dump trucks, and ambulances. The Gaslight Car Show and Bike Show hits Taylorsville Road on Sunday. The J-Town Gaslight Fest has been hosted annually since 1969. And let's see how the weather is for this. Here's Tawana.
And what we're seeing, of course, will be some beautiful weather for today and into the weekend. Right now, a gorgeous sunrise showing up on our SkyTrack camera, looking from Jeffersonville off towards the east. A beautiful morning for sure. And we're seeing those gorgeous sunrises also on many of our Kentucky Mesonet cameras, too. Now, your temperatures are mainly in the 50s this morning. So a cool start. You may need the light jacket. Certainly not jacket weather for later on this afternoon, because once we head into the afternoon, we'll see highs in the mid to upper 80s. Across our region. Your 10-day shows some pretty decent weather. Now, while over the next 10 days, we do have plenty of sunshine, those highs in the upper 80s and the low 90s, there are a couple of small rain chances. And the first one we'll have to watch for will be Saturday night into very early on your Sunday morning. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Still keeping our eyes on a two-car crash that started about 35 minutes ago. We're talking about the area around I-64 East near Hurstbourne Parkway. You see emergency vehicles out there and the flashing lights. So if you do go into that area, again, we're talking 64 East near Hurstbourne Parkway. Two-car accident out in that area. That could slow things down. Also getting reports of an accident, 264 East near 3rd Street near the airport. Be careful out there and give yourself a lot of extra time. We'll see you in 25 minutes.